Have you ever found yourself thinking, "Oh, it's just me now," as you look around your quiet home? Many folks believe that living alone is automatically a sad or lonely chapter. And if you're an older adult, it's easy for others to assume you need constant company. But what if I told you that the quiet comfort of your own space, if not approached with a little intention, could actually be silently working against your emotional well-being? I've seen it time and again in my decades of working with seniors. That very independence we cherish can sometimes become a trap, making us feel a bit squirrely or isolated without us even realizing it. Ignoring these subtle shifts in mood or routine can lead to bigger problems down the road, affecting your mental clarity, your energy, and even your overall health. But don't you worry. In this video, I'm going to share 3 simple, powerful habits I've learned, not just from my own life living solo, but from countless wonderful folks just like you, that will help you thrive and find true joy in living alone. Stick around until the very end, because the 3rd tip is often the one people miss, and it could be the key to unlocking a healthier, happier you. Number 1. Have something to look forward to. You know, one of the first things I often hear from folks who are living on their own, especially after the kids have grown up or after stepping into retirement, is this quiet but heavy feeling of what has there to look forward to anymore? It's such a common thought, isn't it? Life slows down, routines settle in, and suddenly the days start to blend. We find ourselves waiting for the grandkids to stop by, waiting for a holiday to come around, waiting for that one special occasion to make the week feel different. But here's the thing. When life becomes a series of things we're waiting for, time slips by almost unnoticed. One day melts into the next, and before we realize it, weeks or even months have passed, where nothing truly lit us up inside. We start to feel like we're just floating through our own days. No real sense of direction, no fresh excitement, and no small moments of joy pulling us forward. And that feeling, that quiet drifting, can be one of the hardest parts of living alone, not because we don't have enough to do, but because the things that once gave our days meaning seem to have faded into the background. Yet deep down, most of us still crave that spark. Something to look forward to when we wake up in the morning. Something that reminds us that life still holds surprises, growth, and simple pleasures, no matter our age. Now, let's get a little scientific for a moment, but in a way that truly makes sense. When we lack those things to look forward to, our brains just don't produce as much dopamine. You've heard of dopamine, right? It's that wonderful chemical messenger that gives us feelings of pleasure and motivation. Think of it like the little zing that gets you out of bed on Christmas morning. Without enough of that, over time, it can lead to feeling lethargic, unmotivated, and frankly, a bit down in the dumps. It can even raise our risk for feeling truly blue, which some call depression. And as we get a bit older, our bodies and minds are simply more sensitive to these shifts in mood and brain chemistry. The reason for this, deep down, is often rooted in the changes that come with aging. Our lives used to be packed, didn't they? Work, raising a family, all those daily responsibilities. Now, with those slowing down, if we don't actively fill that space with our own joys and anticipations, that space can start to feel, well, truly empty. So, if you've been feeling a bit tired without a clear reason, or find it hard to get excited about starting a new day, that's your body giving you a little nudge. It's saying, hey, we need some bright spots on the calendar. And you don't just have to take my word for it. A really interesting study from Harvard University pointed out that keeping up with hobbies and activities you genuinely love as you get older is directly linked to living longer and enjoying a much better quality of life. I often think about my dear patient, Mrs. Betty. After her husband passed, She found herself utterly lost for a while. But then, she started her wildflower walks every weekend in the local woods. She told me it was the only thing that pulled her through those first tough years. It wasn't a fancy trip to Paris, mind you, but those walks, those little discoveries, those were her things to look forward to. So, here's my challenge for you. Let's put something on your calendar today. It doesn't need to be something that costs an arm and a leg, or a grand adventure. It could be as simple as saying, "This weekend, I'm heading down to the shore for a fantastic lobster roll," just like I often do. Or maybe, "I'm going to finally get myself to Michael's craft store and pick up that beautiful new yarn for my next project." Or even, "The bird migration is happening soon, and I can't wait to grab my binoculars and find some warblers." The secret sauce here is that it has to be something you genuinely love, something that makes your heart give a little flutter of anticipation. Don't sit around waiting for someone else to plan your life for you. This is your life, and you're in charge of scheduling those wonderful little moments. Go ahead, write down 1 or 2 right now. And remember, diving into a hobby is also a wonderful way to connect with others who share your passion. Sometimes, the unexpected joy comes from sharing those little pleasures, even if it's just with a small, like-minded group. So, have you got a little passion, a little something you're looking forward to? Go ahead, type "joy" in the comments below and share your little anticipation with us. I'd truly love to hear about it. Number 2, maintaining healthy habits. Now, this next one, I'll be completely honest with you, I am not always the best at it myself, but I know, deep down, just how important it truly is. It's about keeping routines. When you live by yourself, there's no one else to keep you accountable, is there? No partner is calling from the other room asking, "What are we having for dinner tonight?" Or gently nudging, "Come on, honey, time for our evening walk." There's no one reminding you, "Hey, who's cleaning the toilet this week?" Or jokingly insisting you get out of bed a little earlier. And that's exactly what makes it so easy to let those little things start to slide. You skip the walk just once, then again, and before long, the habit fades. You leave the dishes in the sink overnight because, well, who's going to see them anyway? Maybe you push off laundry another day because there's no rush. And soon, the structure that once anchored your days starts to loosen. Without that gentle pressure, that natural rhythm that comes from sharing a life and space with someone else, our motivation can slowly drift. The days can start feeling open-ended, shapeless even. You wake up without a clear plan, and suddenly it's already afternoon and you're still in your pajamas, wondering where the time went. But here's the truth. Routines give life shape. They're not just chores or checklists. They're quiet reminders that you still matter, that your time is valuable, and that you're worth showing up for. Making the bed in the morning, brewing your coffee at the same hour, stepping outside for a short walk. These little rituals tell your mind, today has purpose. When you live alone, routines become your best friend. They're not restrictions. They're the framework that keeps you grounded, balanced, and in touch with life. And while it might sound simple, keeping a steady routine can be one of the most powerful ways to protect your mental health, your sense of joy, and even your self-respect as the years go by. From a scientific standpoint, when we don't have a clear structure or regular routines, it can really throw our body's internal clock, our circadian rhythm, completely off balance. This affects everything: our sleep cycles, our energy levels throughout the day, and even how well our immune system functions. As we get older, our bodies thrive on stability, needing those predictable rhythms to keep everything running smoothly. A day without a clear structure can actually ramp up our stress hormones, like cortisol, even if we don't consciously feel stressed. It's a subtle, insidious thing. I remember that slackerish feeling I experienced, especially when so many of us started working from home back in 2020. It felt comfortable at first, but then those lines between work and leisure, between day and night, just blurred. And honestly, it started to mess with my mental health. So, how do you know if you're falling into this trap? Are you finding yourself waking up later and later, even on weekdays? Do you feel sluggish and low on energy throughout the day? Or are those household chores piling up because there's no set time for them anymore? These are all clear signals that it's time to re-establish some healthy routines. The good news is, a study published in the journal Gerontology highlighted that older adults who stick to consistent daily routines generally have better mental health and a lower risk of cognitive decline. I think of Mrs. Eleanor, one of my wonderful patients, who T90 has a rock-solid routine. She's up by 7 a.m., a quick 30-minute stretch, then breakfast. Because of this, she's always full of beans and sharp as a tack. Me? When I get home from work, I'll often set a 20-minute timer. Just 20 minutes. In that time, I zoom around, tidy up a bit, and keep my habitat from turning into a total disaster zone. My workday keeps me pretty regulated, getting me out the door by 7. But for those of you who are retired, that structure isn't automatically there. Look at these beautiful pine trees around us. They grow in cycles, with natural routines. We need that too. So, let's get down to it. It's time to set some simple routines for yourself. Have a fixed wake-up time, even on weekends. Plan your meals, schedule your chores, and yes, even schedule your relaxation time. If you're retired, this is even more crucial. Don't let yourself drift into that slackerish pattern. You have to take charge of your schedule. Don't fall into those bad patterns. And remember, you don't have to tackle this alone. There are apps out there that can help with time management, or even just a good old-fashioned paper planner can be your best friend in keeping track of your healthy habits. If you've ever felt a bit slackerish because your routines have gone by the wayside, go ahead and comment "routine" below. Trust me, you are not alone in this. Number 3, get the hell out of the house. Now, friends, this third one is absolutely critical. And for many, it's also the hardest. It's about getting out of the house. When you're living by yourself, it's incredibly easy to get stuck within those 4 walls. You might think, what's the point of going out? Or, I really don't feel like seeing anyone today. But that, my friends, is precisely when you need to make yourself step outside. The science behind this is pretty stark. Social isolation doesn't just make us feel sad, it can have serious physical consequences. It increases your risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, cognitive decline, and even weakens your immune system. Sunshine, fresh air, and human interaction are all vital for keeping our bodies and minds in top shape. Without them, we truly begin to wither. The root cause? As we age, our social circles naturally shrink. Friends move away, or sadly, pass on. Health issues can limit our mobility. This means we have to be proactive about building and maintaining new connections, no matter how small they seem. So, if you find yourself talking less, losing interest in conversations, feeling low on energy, or just generally antsy, without a clear reason, that's your cue. Your system is screaming for a dose of the outside world. An extensive study by AARP, the American Association of Retired Persons, showed that strong social connections are among the best predictors for a longer, higher quality life for older adults. I recall just last weekend, I was in line at a coffee shop, waiting for a friend who's perpetually late. I've known him for 30 years, and he's always late. And then I hear someone kindly ask, "Do you have a YouTube channel?" I was a bit startled, thinking, "Oh, goodness, what have I said or done on there?" But it was Robert, one of our wonderful viewers. He was sitting with some friends, and since my friend was running very late as usual, Robert invited me to sit down and have some coffee. We chatted for a while, and it was just lovely. You see, you never know who you're going to run into or what delightful encounter awaits you when you just get out there. So, let me be clear. Get out of the house, even if it's just for a little while. It doesn't have to be a big party or a formal gathering. It could be a leisurely walk around your neighborhood, a visit to the local library, sitting on a bench at the park with a good book, or even just grabbing a coffee and having a quick chat with the barista. Be intentional about setting up times to be with others, whether it's old friends, new neighbors, or joining a club. And if you're not feeling up to a crowd, plan an outing for yourself. Visit a museum, catch a small concert, or simply take a scenic drive to a beautiful spot and enjoy the views. You won't have these enriching experiences if you stay cooped up. And here's a balanced perspective. It doesn't always have to be deep, meaningful conversations to feel connected. Sometimes it's the simplest gestures that bring the biggest lift to your spirit. A friendly hello from a neighbor, a short chat with the barista who remembers your order, or even just exchanging smiles with someone passing by on a morning walk. Human connection isn't only about long talks or lifelong friendships. It's also about those tiny, everyday moments that remind you you're still part of the world around you. They may seem small, but they can completely change the tone of your day. A little spark of warmth that says, "You're not invisible. You're still connected." Even in my own life, I notice it. When I head down to the shore for my favorite lobster roll, I might not bring anyone along, and that's perfectly fine. I'll chat for a minute with the person at the counter, maybe laugh about the weather, or strike up a quick conversation with someone waiting in line. And you know what? Those moments often stay with me longer than I expect. There's a simple joy in that kind of light, effortless connection. No pressure, no expectations, just human warmth. Because sometimes that's all we need to feel recharged. Not a deep heart-to-heart, but a reminder that we're surrounded by life, by stories, by people. Even when we're on our own, the world still has a way of reaching out, if we reopen enough to notice it. Have you gotten out of the house recently? If you agree, this is super important. Comment "outside" below. All right, friends, as we wrap up our little stroll and chat today, I want to bring you back to something we talked about right at the beginning. Remember Mr. Arthur, the gentleman whose story we shared, who found himself a bit lost after his wife passed? Well, I'm thrilled to tell you, his story took a wonderful turn. By actively applying these very tips we've discussed, finding little joys to anticipate, building a steady routine, and making himself step out and connect, Mr. Arthur didn't just find his footing again. He began to thrive. He became a beacon of inspiration for his friends and neighbors, showing them that living alone doesn't mean living a lonely life. Today, Mr. Arthur is living a fuller, more vibrant life than he had in years, and he is a living testament that living alone doesn't have to mean being isolated. You see, the truth is, no one can truly take care of you or plan your happiness better than you can yourself. And there's absolutely no shame, not one bit, in admitting that sometimes living alone can make you feel a little lonely, or even a bit squirrely if you've been cooped up too much. The power lies in being honest with yourself about what you truly need, and then taking those active steps to nurture your own well-being. Your health, your happiness, your peace of mind, it's all built on these simple, intentional actions. So now, as we conclude our time together, I have one important question for you, and I truly hope you'll answer it in the comments below. What is the one small commitment you are making to yourself this week after watching this video? It could be as simple as, I'm going to put coffee with a friend on my calendar this Tuesday. Or maybe, I'm going to set an alarm for 7 a.m. every day, even on Saturday. Or even just, I'm going to try finding a new nature trail this weekend. Please share your personal commitment in the comments. Let's inspire each other to take that crucial first step. And if you found real value and a bit of inspiration in our time together today, please show your support by giving this video a like. It truly helps more people find these important messages. To ensure you continue on this journey with us and never miss another video full of life-changing wisdom, hit that subscribe button. It's more than just subscribing. It's joining a community, a wonderful family, dedicated to living our best lives together. Finally, think of one person, just one person, who needs to hear this message today. And please, take a moment to share this video with them. You might just be the one who changes their entire week, or even their life. Thank you for walking with me today. Stay healthy, stay wise, and remember to always do it right, whether you are alone or not. I'll see you in the next video.